Hi everyone, welcome to Rachel Pichler Yoga. If we haven't met before, my name is Rachel. Today our yoga for flexibility practice is going to focus on the entire body. So we're going to get a really awesome stretch today. I'm going to use a block. If you've got one, grab one. If you don't, that's cool too. You're just going to need a little bit of space to move, and let's get started. So let's begin today in child's pose. We're going to come onto our knees and bringing our knees out nice and wide. So I'm going to use my block for almost everything today. Feel free to do the same. Feel free to use it some of the time, none of the time, whatever works best. And if you don't have a block, then just forget about the block. But bring your knees out nice and wide, your big toes together. And I'm just going to use my block as a little pillow to rest the forehead. So either using something under the forehead or just resting your forehead all the way down on your mat. Oh, and just reach your arms out above your head. You can even spread your fingers nice and wide. Just gently encouraging the hips towards the heels. Maybe put a little effort into doing that. Maybe not. And then if your eyes are still open, just let them close. Soften your shoulders. Let your forehead just be nice and heavy on your block or the mat. And let's just take a nice big breath in, big breath out. And do that again. Nice big inhale and exhale. Awesome, you guys. One more nice big inhale and exhale. Let it go. Feel your shoulders soften even more. Maybe you can feel your tongue resting on the roof of your mouth. Maybe your forehead really heavy on your block. We're just going to stay here for a few more moments. I want you just to notice your tummy. And each time you inhale, see if you can kind of expand your tummy a bit. Fill up with air. And as you exhale, just let go of all that air that was filling you up. Gently draw your belly button back towards your spine. And inhaling again, feel the tummy expanding. And exhale, let it go. And just putting all of your attention and focus into the breath. Awesome, you guys. We're going to take one more full cycle of breath here. Inhale and exhale. And then slowly starting to lift your forehead. Maybe even opening the eyes a little bit. Start to lift your chest. We're just going to bring our knees in and climb up onto our palms, making our way onto our hands and onto our knees. We're going to stretch our shoulders with a little puppy dog here. So there are a few things you can do with your block if you do have one. If you don't have one, forget about the block. Either way, we're going to reach our arms out in front and just kind of keep the hips high here. Hips nice and high, and you're just going to bring your forehead back down towards the mat. So either resting your forehead on your block or your mat, but just soften through the shoulders. Let your upper body get nice and heavy. And we're getting a little bit more into those shoulders here than we did in our child's pose because our hips are lifted. And if you want to take things a little further here, you guys, and if you do have a block, just actually bring it out further away. And you're going to rest your hands on it instead of your forehead. And you're just going to Try to bring the forehead back down to the floor. Keeping the hips high. And feeling that nice stretch through your arms and through your shoulders. Nice, you guys. And using an inhale, wherever you're at, we're just going to slowly start to move. So lift your forehead, lift your chest, bring your hands back in under your shoulders. Maybe take a nice little shoulder roll or wiggle. And we're just going to make our way onto our tummies, and we're going to grab our blocks if we've got one. And we're just going to lengthen the front of the neck. So if you don't have a block, you can either rest your chin on the floor or you can rest your chin in your palms. And just kind of let the front of the neck lengthen. If you've got a block, you're just going to rest your chin on your block, and you might have a couple different heights to work with. So finding what works and feels good for you. But wherever you're at, whatever you're doing, soften your shoulders. Relax your jaw even. The teeth like to clench together sometimes while we're here, so maybe even open your mouth a little bit. Nice, you guys. Take another breath or two here. And then just lifting your chin just slightly. So you can take either your hands or your block out from under your chin. Stack your palms and rest your forehead on top. Bringing the length back into the neck. And taking just a moment here to be nice and still. Noticing any sensations running through the upper body. Nice, you guys. When you're feeling good, I'm just going to start to move again. Bring our hands under our shoulders. We're going to push ourselves all the way onto our hands and knees again. And if you do have a block to sit on, we're going to bring it between our heels. And if you don't have a block to sit on, you can either sit between your heels if you're able. So our feet are kind of out wide and our knees are coming towards one another. And if that doesn't work for you, you can sit on your heels instead of between your heels. And some people like to sit between their heels and not use a block. So that's also an option. But take an inhale here, lengthen your spine. Just going to notice if you feel anything so far through those hips, through the knees, the ankles, the top of the feet, the quads maybe. Just kind of let the shoulders fall from the ears. We're just going to take a few moments here, but you have the option to stay sitting nice and tall just like this. Or you have the option to bring your hands behind you towards the floor, lift the chest, maybe the chin. And you can go as far as laying all the way on your back. And if you've got knees that are talking to you while we're here, at any time you need to lift the hips up, you can stand on the knees. Just listen to your body here. Maybe lifting that chest and pulling the shoulders back. Maybe kind of trying a few different options to see what does work and feel good for you. And you can feel this in a whole lot of places through those legs. Maybe even to the shoulders if you're opening the chest. You might even get a stretch through the front of the neck if you let the head fall back a bit. Nice, you guys. Very slow. We are going to start to make our way out of this. So if you are laying on your back, on your hands, just gently bring the chest back up. Take a breath. Nice long spine. And then your hands can come back to the floor. Find your tabletop. Maybe take your hips for a little rock side to side. You might even want to extend one leg out. And then the other. Nice, you guys. Okay, we're going to come back into our tabletop. I want to do another shoulder opener here. So we did both of our arms for puppy dog before. We're going to take things a little further though and just do one arm. So if you have a block, you can use it. I'll show you in a second. But if you don't have a block, just reach your right arm out and let your chest come down, and maybe the forehead's resting, or maybe the right cheek is resting this time, but the left hand's here at your side for support. So you can either, if you've got a block, rest it under your forehead or your cheek or the side of your head. Or if you want to take things a little further, you might put your block underneath your right hand. But just go as far as you need to, as feels good for you. It's a pretty intense stretch, just doing one arm without a block under the hand. So if that feels good, stay there. Awesome, you guys. Just soften that right shoulder. Feel the stretch. So good. Taking an inhale and gently lift the chest, lift your head all the way up. Sit on your heels for a moment, taking your right arm, just slide either the top of your hand to your low back or your entire forearm. Just kind of tuck that right arm behind you. Soften that right shoulder. Just a little counter stretch. And when you feel good, we are going to switch sides, but maybe you want to add in a couple extra shoulder rolls. And if you know what you're doing with the block or without the block, you can set it up now. I'm going to go straight into it with the block under my left hand. The right hand is at your side for support, just to control how much you're lowering the chest. Rest your forehead, rest your cheek, whatever feels good. Soften the shoulder. Nice, you guys. Using an inhale whenever you're ready to very slowly lift the chest back up. And you can once again sit on your heels or just stand on your knees. But that left hand is just going to find the low back. Or maybe the whole forearm's going to slide behind your back. Soften that left side. Nice job, you guys. When you feel good, letting that hand come back to your lap, you can add in an extra shoulder roll or two. We're going to find a nice comfy seat. So we're going to be bringing the soles of our feet together and our knees out wide for a butterfly. If you have a block though, just bring your block in between your feet. So instead of the soles of the feet touching one another, they're just going to touch your block. So a little play with our butterfly. You can bring your hands to your hips. Take an inhale. Lengthen your spine, and maybe you're going to stay here, or you can fold forwards. Just kind of let the toes relax. The bottom of your feet are gently either pushing into one another or into your block, but just nice and gentle. Let your upper body just be heavy and fold as far as it wants to, all on its own. And you can just notice right now if you're enjoying the stretch that you're getting through the legs, through those hips, or if you need to make an adjustment. I'm just going to slide my hips a little closer, just to take things a little further into my hips. But just finding what works and feels best for you today. And relaxing those shoulders. So you guys, using an inhale, let's slowly start to lift ourselves back up. You can bring your hands to your knees, help them come back together. Maybe a little rock, side to side, a little self-hug. Nice job, you guys. And we're just going to start to lay all the way down onto our backs. So coming all the way down, walking your feet in a little bit closer towards your hips. We're going to be reaching our arms out to the sides, just to weigh down our shoulders once we come into this twist. But let's move the legs over to the left side first. So let your knees fall over towards the left. If you have a block, you can rest that block underneath your knees. Or if your bottom leg, your left leg, touches the floor, you can place your block between your knees. If you don't have a block, you don't have to use a block. Forget about the block. Once your legs are over to that left side, I want you to try to adjust those shoulders so they stay down on the floor, especially that right one. So you can weigh down those shoulders by reaching your arms out nice and wide. Or I'm actually going to clasp my hands behind my head. And let those shoulders and the arms be heavy on the mat, because it feels good. But whatever works and feels best for you, do that. Then find your breath. Slow things down. Noticing where you feel this twist. And if you need to make any adjustments. And if you do have your arms out wide or your hands behind your head, I want you just to start to move them first. And if you do have a block, grab your block before you start to move your legs. Whenever you're ready, use an inhale to lift your knees back up out of that twist. Place your low back on your mat. Maybe do a little rock side to side. And then we're going to switch sides, so either bringing a block with you or not. But just do the same thing with your block on this side, under the knees, between the knees. Once those knees are over to the side, adjust those shoulders. Shimmy them around so they stay down. Maybe the hands are coming behind the head. Maybe your arms are just resting at your sides. And just feeling the breath and the tummy moving up and down. Awesome job, you guys. Slowly just start to move your arms first. Bringing your block out and off to the side. Using a big inhale to lift your knees back up. Bring your low back to your mat. Maybe just adding a little rock side to side. Give that low back a little massage. Feel free to keep rocking side to side a little bit, or you can start to send your legs out, your feet out to the bottom of your mat. Just reach your arms above your head and take a nice big stretch. And your arms can come back to your sides, palms facing up. As always, I encourage you guys to spend some time in Shavasana. And I hope that you enjoy the rest of your day. And until next time, namaste.